My name is Sigin Ojulu. I'm a writer, director, actress, producer, all the things. And I produced and directed Code Switch Film, which is like a black sci-fi, Black Mirror film.
Okay, awesome. You mentioned that you're just like all the things. Can you talk
Yeah.
about how you balance all the things, all of those hats?
So, I think it's just like part of being a black woman. You just got to do it all. But I think like as a filmmaker, you, especially when you don't have that much of a budget and you don't have resources, you really have to figure out a way to make it happen. And the only way that you can really like do film is to have passion for it.
Yeah.
And because, you know, if you like wake up hating what you're doing, you're not gonna, it doesn't matter how much money you have to have some sort of passion. So I just happen to love all elements of filmmaking, and it's fun to act, it's fun to create, and like be
Yes.
around people. So
Yeah, definitely. So you talked about the resources. Can you give me like a little timeline of how long it took you to create and produce the film?
Code Switch from conception to right now probably took like a year and a half,
Okay.
which is a lot for like a 15-minute film, I think. But yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Can you talk a little bit about your inspirations?
for sure. I guess I'm really interested in artificial intelligence and big data and how that impacts communities of color, and women in particular, because as someone who works in the tech space
Yeah.
as well doing virtual reality, I feel invisible. And it's like even times when I'm the one creating the technology. And I think that big data and you know, like even the stuff that's going on with Facebook, I think it's so important that our communities disrupt these spaces because it's coupled with economic inequality. Our communities are always at the bottom of that. And like I said yesterday, like MLK, before he had his whole you know, like nonviolence piece, he had like an economic plan in order to disrupt that system and get capital into the hands of like black people so that we could empower ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think like moving on, artificial intelligence and big data is something that our community really needs to get into. And so that's why I wanted to show this film, put a little black girl in the face of it, a dark-skinned girl, just so that you can see yourself, even if it's not that tangible at the moment. Like you have to have representation, and hopefully that can inspire people to want to be part of that space.
Yeah, definitely. Can you look into the camera and give some like pro tips since you've had this experience of balancing hats and producing your
Yeah.
first film? Can you share some tips or some gems with us?
Relax. It's gonna be all right. You're never gonna have as much money as you want. Your mama still loves you. Look, filmmaking is really, really difficult, but if you love it enough and if you have something to say, which I think that everybody does have something to say,
Yeah.
we just got to communicate it in certain forms like film, then you have to be able to communicate that in some way because your voice does matter. And everything up until that point, because it's always a journey, is difficult. And if you sort of shy away from that and just, you know, don't make any moves, and it's not going to happen for you. So I say, like, when you see a mountain, like, climb it. Don't think that you can't, because if you think that, you're not going to be able to. So
Yeah.